Hi and welcome back to another video of JPlay. I am Marcus and today I'm walking you through a couple of rounds, maybe the full game of the Cathedral of Orléans, which is, the cooperative family game, and I think this explains the game pretty well actually. It's definitely set in the world of Orléans, the back building game, but it's definitely condensed into a very gateway-ish family kind of a game, and it's fully cooperative. In this game of the Cathedral of Orléans, it's the year 1598. That means quite a long time ago in the middle of France. You have settled in a place called Orléans, a small town by the Loire River. There's a lot of hustle and bustle. Traders offer their good, fishermen and farmers provide the food supply. Knights ensure security, and the monks, well, they have very special demands. A cathedral needs to be built for Orléans. Help build the cathedral before the bishop travels to Orléans. And that's exactly what we are trying to do in this game. We want to construct the Cathedral of Orléans that consists of 8 parts, and we have to do that before time is running out, and we have exactly 3 rounds in order to achieve that. I'm simulating a 2-player game. This game is not really fully soloable because there are simply some, I think, events which you need to, or which you can only achieve by, let's say, meeting with another player, but there is no such thing as hidden information, and I don't really know what it will do to the game balance if I would play it on a single player. I think it's a little bit easier with more players. I could be wrong though. You simply have more starting resources in respect to the amount of rounds. That is basically the same thing, but because you are allowed to move more over the board, I think the more players, the more easier things could be, but I can be completely wrong. I've played with 2 and 3 players. I did manage to win it once or twice. I do feel it's not easy, even though it is a family game. Maybe we simply suck at it. I don't know. But I think, as usual, I will walk you through the rules as I go. Again, I'm simulating a 2-player game. As in the bigger brother Orléans, we both start with our master builders here in the city of Orléans. Each player has their own knapsack here. We will start with one of those random resources. We have stone, we have wood, we have bread, and we have those glass pieces here, which are relatively difficult to come by to. So getting those is definitely never a bad thing. As you could see, the blue player is starting with 1 stone, whereas red will start the game with a wooden resource, that is. And I think with that being said, we should be pretty much good to go. If you think you know Orléans, you can kind of forget everything about it. You are not really building a back in this case. The only instance, yes, you are putting extra monks into these backs, or there are opportunities to put extra monks into the back. But apart from that, you're simply only pulling those tokens out of the bag. This is then where it kind of resembles its bigger brother Orléans, but again, it's a very, very light-hearted game which you can again enjoy with your family. We will simply say that blue will be the starting player. It doesn't really matter too much, and you have basically only 2 options. During your turn, you can either pull 1 token out of the blue bag, or you can pull 1 token out of the red bag. That's basically it. Of course, it definitely does help to know what kind of tokens are in those respective bags, at least at the start of the game. So in the red bags, we have more soldiers. We have 3 farmers, 3 of those traders. Here we have the fishermen, also farmers, and we have 2 monks each. I'm playing on the normal difficulty level. You can increase the difficulty level by basically removing 1 monk each of one of those bags. I didn't do that because, again, I don't feel like I'm beating this game too often, quite honestly. So that's basically the one piece of information that you need to know. Which tokens do you want to pull out, and what's the biggest chance of getting a specific token out of one of these bags. You are never allowed to look inside the bag throughout the game, so you have to kind of play that memory game, but ultimately I think it's not too difficult to track. You also have to apologize my voice. I'm still recovering from my COVID. And yeah, this is still very much a thing, unfortunately. I really got it when it was no longer cool, it seems. I really got I could avoid it for 3 years, but in the end it got to me. So sorry for anything that sounds strange, or so blame it on the Mets, blame it on the virus, whatever. So again, blue player is going first, and in order to basically understand what it is we are trying to do, for the most part, we are trying to get those blueprint tiles here. We have 12 out. 8 of those, I believe, do have the cathedral token on it. So you should be able to build the cathedral from those blueprint tiles alone, though there is never a dot. You will always get something cool out of this. I think it could be to place a monk into one of the bags, for example. It could be getting a class token, but this is one of the ways how you will be able to build the cathedral. On top of this, we also have these workshop tiles here, which we have put out randomly. I think there are 8 or so in the game, and you bring out 3, and you will never have more in any given game. So in order to, for example, fulfill the demands of this workshop tile here, we have to deliver 2 stone and 2 of these class tokens. If we do that, and we can only do that through a certain action here on the main game mode, and we have to place the respective master builder in that location in order to deliver there, we would then be allowed to automatically build the next stage of the cathedral, though this is this symbol here. And on top of this, for this tile, we would also be allowed to gain 1 blueprint tile, which could be another stage of the cathedral. Whereas down here in Neve, we have to deliver 2 stone, 1 bread, and 1 wood. It's a little bit easier because they're not demanding any glass, for example. We would be allowed to draw 2 of those blueprint tiles, which could be 2 stages of the cathedral as well. And on top of this, each round we also have one of those hourglass tiles, which are not events in this game. This is really something which we also have to deliver, or can deliver if we want to. So in order to satisfy demand of this hourglass tile, we need 2 stone and 1 wood, and then we would be also allowed to take or to draw 1 of those blueprint tiles. We can basically deliver to the hourglass tile from everywhere we are, but we still have to trigger an action for that. And I think with that being said, we should now be good to go. And in fact, blue could try to make it here to, what is it, Le Mans, in order to deliver the 2 stone and the 2 glass. Blue has 1 stone. He can pick up 1 additional stone when moving up here this river, for example. Then we would be at 2. And then through, for example, a monk tile here, and maybe the red player could move here to Bourges or Tours. So between those 2 locations, there's also glass tiles. So there are ways to manage that. But on top of this, you also don't want to miss out on those event tiles here, which is something that also basically both blue and red could be working towards. But I think I have talked myself into that. For the blue player, he wants to move from Orléans up here to this city. In order to do that, we have to travel along a river, and that's kind of similar to Le Mans, to Orléans, to the bigger brother. So ultimately, we have to trigger this action here. We can trigger this action either through a monk here, a peasant or farmer, or let's say a fisherman here. I think this is a farmer, fisherman here. And of course, a monk could also go in any of those spaces here as well. But of course, on a monk, only a monk could go there. And in order to increase my chances, I know for a fact that the majority of the tokens in this bag are really a fisherman or farmer. So that's exactly what blue is going to do, pulling a token out of this bag. And ideally, it is a fisherman, and we are lucky. So we are placing it here. We are triggering the action. By the way, you can always forfeit an action, and there are scenarios where it is something that you have to do because you were hoping for something very specific, but you still don't want the round to end. In this case, you would then, for example, place something here and say, no, I'm not going to move, for example. That's fully allowed. But in this case, we do want to move, so we are moving our little Meeper master builder up here. We will cross over this symbol, and similar to the normal Orléans, we are taking this tile and placing this into our knapsack here. And we have a limit of 5 tokens. This could be either one of those symbols here or also one of those glass tokens here. As a free action, you can always discard all 5 tokens in your bag in order to grab a blueprint tile here as well. This is already the end of the blue player's turn, and now it's over to red. And again, we want to look at this hourglass tile. And right now we do have exactly 2 stone and wood with us. So I think we want to fulfill that hourglass here as soon as possible. It's blueprint tile, and I think it definitely does help us. So let's try to fulfill that. And in order to deliver something, we have to trigger this action here, which is being fed through one of these 6 spaces here. Right now it doesn't really matter too much from which bag we are drawing, but I think just to keep things even, I may want to pull something out of the red bag, and let's see what it is. It is a soldier. Okay, a soldier is something that is a little bit limited. Of course, we can place it here in order to move along a road, similar also to Orléans. We can also use it here to deliver something, also not bad. We can also go to these, what are those? I keep forgetting what the action is referred to. And right, of course, it's the festival ground. That's kind of a catch-all and a somewhat of a last resort thing, but usually you get something good out of this too. But you may want to extend this as much as possible. At least that's how I experience the game so far. So let's think about what we are trying to do with this soldier here. I could place it here in order to deliver 2 things, so that's fully legal for the red player, that is. And by placing something here, we can deliver up to 2 things. Yeah, why not? The thing is, if we place anything that's here on the right hand side at the end of the round, will go into the blue bag, because that's the blue side, that's the red side. I think you kind of see the graphic, and it's also printed down here. Respectively. So we would then place one of the soldiers into the blue bag, which is not ideal if you want to make sure you are drawing something very specific out of a specific bag, right? So that's the level of decision that you have to do in this game, basically. So I'm not sure if I want to do that. No, I think we want to place that soldier rather onto this side here, and we do want to trigger the last resort action. So I think in this case it's really the better option here, which now allows us to reveal the very first event tile here. And it's an immediate bonus. I mean, that is cool. No, I think this is the discard pile in here, which would allow, oh, that's really good, allow the red player to immediately grab one of those glass tokens here. So that wasn't terrible for a soldier, but that's also already the end of the round, or rather the turn of the red player. Over to blue. I think let's draw another tile. That's the same problem. I wanted to deliver something, and I still want to deliver something. So in this case, I think it is okay. It is quite okay. We are placing that fisherman in here in order to trigger this action. Again, this allows us to deliver 2 things from our knapsack to either another player, to an hourglass, or potentially to a workshop, but we can only deliver something to a workshop if our master builder is at that location. So in this case, we want to fulfill the hourglass. So we are taking 2 stone and placing it here. 1 more to go, and we would unlock our very first blueprint tile. Nice. Back to red, and I think let's carry on with the red bag for red. Again, we want to complete that thing. Okay, that's a monk. That is now a very interesting dilemma, because we do know that the red player does have a glass token in his knapsack, and I think, yeah, there is a perfect action we want to take with it. So we are taking the monk, placing it here, and then we are delivering from the red player's knapsack the basically the window tile here to this monk, and therefore we are also allowed to grab our very first blueprint tile. So fingers crossed, I will go for this one, and in fact it is our very first part of the cathedral. So that is nice. So they're all nicely explained here. So this is the first one. For now, we have to place it somewhere over here. You can see that here with the next tile, the cathedral will be able to stand on its own. Okay, that wasn't terrible at all, actually. Back to the blue player, who now doesn't really have a reason to travel here to Le Mans. We would get a bread. Again, getting resources is never a bad thing, but we can't do anything with bread at this location. And again, they will never change. And once they are satisfied, once they are complete, we're simply flipping them over. Still getting an extra thing is usually not a bad thing, but it's really the wrong direction for him. So I may want to really reconsider things. We have the same problem here. We could move over here to Chartres. Problem is, we would collect a stone. Again, never a bad thing, but we don't need stone over here. So that is really not great at all. Maybe we want to move down south instead, and I think that's what we are going to do. At least let's see what we are drawing out of the red bag, that is. It's a farmer. Okay, a farmer really does suck actually, because there's really nothing for the blue player to do other than to go for another festival ground here, or we could place it on one of those delivery spaces and simply forfeit our action. Okay, that is really bad actually. It's really not a great start. Why did we have to pull the farmer out? I was really hoping for a trader or for a soldier, or maybe even a monk. There's still a monk in the back, so that wasn't great. We could still place the farmer in here instead. That's still possible. And maybe, yeah, let's reconsider things. I don't want to go in here just yet again. So I guess we are simply collecting one more stone, which we are putting into the knapsack. Over to red. Again, I'm not 100% sure from which bag to draw, but honestly, I do think we have. Let's go for the red bag again. I don't know why, but for whatever reason. Okay, this is another farmer, which in this case is fully okay. I think we placed a red in here, so I think we want a farmer on this side here now, because I think this was also a farmer from the red bag. So we are going to deliver. We only have one, but that's fully okay. We have satisfied the requirements of this hourglass tile, which means we are allowed to draw another one of those, and it's another cathedral. Again, 8 out of those 12 are cathedral tiles, so the vast majority are those, which also means we are allowed to take tile 2 now, and I think tile 2 exactly goes in here. So again, the cathedral is starting to stand on its own. Okay, that wasn't terrible either. Nicely done, red. I think blue wants to continue to move. I think we have to simply remove this tile, by the way. We have completed. We can't do that again. Those tiles go back into the resource bag. Maybe I should do that. So they go in here. And again, we want to pull ideally a soldier out of the bag, and that's exactly what we did. We are placing it here. This allows the blue player to move along the road. So we have gathered a second stone, which is here. Even if we can't really use it right now, again, any 5 of those resources can also translate into a blueprint tile. Looking at this workshop down here, we need 2 stone, 1 wood, and 1 bread. Blue is already on the way down here and could maybe collect the wood, which means ideally red is moving over here to collect that bread, which we could then send to the blue player, for example. And this would be 2 blueprint tiles down here. On the other hand, we could also slowly move first down here and then collect the bread, because we are most likely not going to make it too soon. So I think let's do this way instead. We are moving down here, or at least trying to move down here. That's our way. We want to draw something out of the bag, and it's a merchant. Yeah, this is something we didn't need at all. So I think it is time to place our second guy token onto the festival ground, which means we are revealing the next event tile. And this is basically, gosh, did I know that? This is kind of a contract of some sort. This means you have to meet another player in one location, and then you would automatically fulfill that. So maybe blue, whose turn it is next, needs to reconsider and move back down to Orléans. Yeah, I think that's what we need to do. So it's blue player's turn. We are drawing from the red bag. So let's see what we get. And it's a monk. With a monk, we could also trigger this action down here, which would allow us to get 1 glass. But I think in this case, it's more important to really move and complete that contract. I think it's a contract or so. So we are moving this way over here. We are collecting the bread for the blue player, but again, we have now satisfied the demand here. Nicely done. So this goes to the discard pile. And again, we are allowed to take one of those. And in this case, it's not a cathedral, but it's still not bad. We are allowed to take one of those glass tokens and place it into our knapsack here. Over to the red player, and again we still wanted to move down south, which could help us move. Maybe that's what we need to do. So yeah, let's draw something out of the blue bag here. That's really not great, and it's a farmer, and I think yes, the farmer does help us indeed. So red moving down here, collecting one stone, and blue, who's next, is now really hoping for... That is quite all right actually, because we can use the trader actually. I can pan over here. So we are placing it here. Again, this allows us to move over here. We are collecting one bread. Nice. No, it goes to the blue player. Sorry. Nicely done. Then it's back to red. And I think, ooh, that's now a tough one. Do we want to stall? I think so. Let's pull something out of the blue bag now. Okay, it's not really stalling. It's a monk. And again, with a monk, we could, in fact, get a glass tile. Which, again, we need these glass tiles for all sorts of things. So let's do that before we are missing out of this. So we are placing it here. We are collecting this. This goes to the red player. And then it's red. And I think for red, we definitely do want to draw something. And I'm really hoping for a red, a black, or a monk. And I think that is quite all right, actually. So we are placing it here. We are moving down here. We grab the wood. Unfortunately, we ran out of space, but that is okay. We can discard. So we have the full resources for the workshop tile. The problem is we need 2 delivery actions in order to do that here. And this tile, by the way, also goes back to the black resource back here, respectively. So what am I going to do with red? We are slowly running out of space. And we have this. We have still 4 spaces which we could deliver. The problem is both of our wildcard spaces are gone. We have 1 wildcard space up here, but if we are ever forced to place a token onto this space, we are ending the round. We will then go through a sequence of stuff and then the round is over. And you want to delay that as much as possible. So I guess, yeah, we have to stall again. We will draw from the blue bag with a red player, and it is blue, and I believe, yes, it's round over. It is round over. We can't legally place the blue meeple anywhere on here. Nope, which means we do have to end the round. So we have to follow through the series of events here. First of all, the token that we have placed here is removed from the game. He's out of here. That's already a problem. Then we are putting the tokens back into the bag. So everything that's on the left-hand side goes into the red bag. Everything that's here on the right-hand side goes to the blue bag. Then we would discard the hourglass tile. We have completed it, so that's okay. Then we will respawn all the good tokens on the map, including the glass tokens, and then at the start of the next round, or I think this is part of this one. I think we can do that right now. We will reveal our next hourglass tile. So for the next round, we need 1 bread, 1 wood, and 1 stone. Then we would be allowed to place 1 monk into the blue bag, which is good. And we would also be allowed to draw an additional blueprint tile. Nice. So I will populate the bag, and I think then we are continuing with the blue player. Okay, we have some new goods out here, and again, it's the blue player. And ideally, again, we want to deliver stuff. So right now, it's now again a tricky one. I think for blue, we want to do something with the blue bag. So let's see, and let's hope for something good. We can use the blue bag here, but I think we did that the last round. So by placing it here, we would actually put another blue fisherman into the red bag, which is usually not ideal. You really want to specialize your backs, at least as much as you can, at least for the soldiers and for those fishermen here. So I'm really inclined now to do this and reveal another event tile. Let's do that. So let's see what we get. Okay, this is basically another contract which says we have to move one of our master builders, it doesn't matter which player it does, back to Orléans. And I think the red player is next, and that's exactly what the blue player is now trying to do. The red player is now trying to do. So what is it? No! It's really not going our way. This is definitely not great. We are not going to do that. That's for sure. I think we can still, I'm now really inclined actually to simply place it here. And yeah, I think this is still okay. Red is delivering one stone to this one up here. Problem is those tokens can be lost. So if we are not able to complete this hourglass tile by the end of the round, all the tokens that we have delivered there are lost as well. Something to consider. But I think that was still kind of okay. We need 2 delivery actions anyway to fulfill the demands of one of those hourglass tiles. So I think it's still okay. So I guess blue is now drawing from the red back. Let's do that. I don't know why, but I want to do that. Yeah, it's the soldier, but I think in this case we can't continue to store. We have to place it here. And I think we did one switcheroo anyway, so blue into red, and now we put red into blue. So I think that is okay. So we are allowed to deliver 2 things here, and I think it doesn't matter too much which one we are moving. I guess we are delivering the 2 stone, because again, stone have been delivered here as well. So I think that is fine. Again, we can only deliver something to the workshop because the blue player is here, and only blue player can deliver here. Even though someone is here, red couldn't deliver. So we now really need a fisherman, a monk, or a farmer. And that's the fisherman. Cool. So we are moving up here. This gives us 1 bread, which is nice. We have fulfilled that demand. We have sent one of our master builders to Orléans. So again, we are allowed to draw. And it's another piece of the cathedral. Nice. Which means we are taking tile 3. And again, I think they go here on the inside. Could be wrong though. No, I think this is accurate. I think this is really accurate. 3 out of 8 at the beginning of round 2. Yeah, not sure if this is great or not. Let's see about that. But that's already the end of the red player's turn. So it's over to blue. I think we have to draw from the blue bag actually. Okay, it's a monk, which we can place anywhere. So I think let's place that monk in here for now. We really want to deliver. On the other hand, we could do this. And otherwise we would be missing out. No, I think we have to do that. So we are delivering. Blue has that glass token here. So yes, we definitely do want to deliver that back here, which again allows us to draw a blueprint tile. So let's see, let's go for this one. Okay, we're getting the glass token right back. It's not great, but I still take it, of course. Red has a problem because red needs some wood, actually, and there is no wood adjacent right now. So I think we are trying to travel here and then maybe down south to Bourges. Yeah, that is okay. We are placing it here. We are moving on to this, taking the stone tile with us. And again, blue wants to draw from the blue bag, I believe. I'm not even sure what I'm hoping for. White. It's blue, but I think we want to complete that now. So we can complete this. So we take those 2 out of here, which means we have completed this workshop. The tiles go back into the bag, into the black bag, that is. So let me quickly do that. We would flip that now, but of course we are allowed to draw 2 of those blueprint tiles here. So let's see. This, okay, yeah, this is kind of a downer. So we are allowed to place 1 extra monk into the blue bag, that So we have made the blue back a little bit stronger, but of course we were hoping for cathedral tiles. We still get one more draw, and this is another piece of the cathedral. Nice. I have actually no clue where 4 goes. I think, yeah, it goes in here actually. I think it goes, no, I think it goes in like this. Exactly. So slowly but steadily we are getting somewhere. We still have 4 to go, right? Exactly. For red, it's difficult now. I think we want to move down south now or up. I think it doesn't matter too much. This is all right, actually. We are placing it here. We are moving down to Bourges. We are grabbing the wood, placing it into the knapsack. So we now have the 2 remaining resources for the hourglass tile here. But of course, red needs to deliver those. Yeah, I think blue, yeah, we have to start collecting more resources. So I think we are going for some more wood, or trying to. Yeah, that's quite perfect, actually. So we're moving up, grabbing the wood, and again, what we need: white, or black. And I think the chances are relatively even. The only thing, we have added one more monk into the blue bag. So let's try that. So we are drawing from the blue bag and hoping for something good there. And I think this is really good. This is really, really good. So red is allowed to deliver 2 things. We are taking the wood, we are taking the bread, delivering this over here. First of all, we are taking an additional one, also placing this into the blue bag. But what's more important, we are allowed to draw an additional tile, and it's another piece of the cathedral, which is this one, and I'm relatively certain that this one goes at the back. Nicely done. 5 out of 8. Blue can start to prepare for this workshop tile up here by maybe trying to move to Orléans and then maybe up here. So I think that's at least a plan. Let's draw from the red bag in order to try that. It's a monk. Oh, for the monk, we could also go for a glass token, but I think in this case, let's not do that. Let's place that monk here actually, and let's move this fella here to Oreo. We are taking the bread. Ideally, we are now also, I think for red, we are drawing from the red bag actually, and hoping for a soldier or for a merchant trader. It is the trader, which is nice, which allows us to move to Tours. And this gives us the glass token. So we have 2 glass tokens with the red player, and I think, yeah, I haven't put them back into the bag actually. I see that now. Let's discard it, but not a big deal whatsoever. And then it's blue. The thing is, blue can't move up here because there are no more spaces left on the road movement action. What are we trying to do instead? We could still go for a water movement, which could still give us something. Again, it's never, yeah, let's do that. So we're going for the blue bag. Let's see what it is. And it is blue. We are placing it here. We are moving up north, grabbing the stone, which means we are now at 4 resources. One more, and we could also go for a blueprint. Here, does it matter too much? I think we will go for blue because we still have this one. We could still gain a class token. Again, having class tokens, never a bad thing. So let's try that with a red player. It is the monk. We could also use it to move up here, get a wood. Do we need the wood actually? That's the thing. Do we need it or not? I mean, we need 2 things here, so one more stone would be pretty great actually. Oh, I see that now. Oh, I see that now actually. So I think we are going to place it here to move this fella up, grabbing the wood, because blue has a stone which he could deliver to the red player in order to, oh yeah, do this actually, because combined we have all the resources for this workspace tile up here, and that's a cathedral, a guaranteed one, and another blueprint tile. Yeah, I didn't really think that through properly. So what is blue going to do? We have, yeah, the only option now is actually farmers or farmers, and this is now where I have completely forgotten actually from which we have drawn the farmers out. And I'm not cheating, I'm not going to look into the bag, so I guess I'm drawing from the red bag now for blue. And again, we want a farmer. And it is a farmer. Cool. So we are placing the farmer back here into the red side. And this allows us to deliver up to 2 things. So we are definitely going to deliver the stone over here. We could deliver more, but I think it doesn't matter actually. I think this was pretty good actually. And then for red, we are drawing from the blue bag, and ideally we get the next farmer here. Then we could start working towards that workshop tile. That would be insane. And no, it is one of those, which means we will have to place it here onto the festival ground. And I think this means one player, one player has to have 2 glass tokens in their knapsack. And I think that's exactly what the red player has in their knapsack. So this is insane. We don't have to spend those glass tokens. Oh, that's so cool. And again, it doesn't matter which of the player fulfills it. So we are flipping this over, and it's another piece of the cathedral. That is so cool. So this is now number 6. I think number 6 goes onto this side. It doesn't really matter too much. So one more here, and then the roof. Oh, wow. This is so cool. And in theory, red, if anything else fails, we could give up all those 5 resources here to also get a blueprint tile. Problem is we still have 3 blueprints tiles out, and I think so far we have drawn 6 exactly. So 1 out of those 3 is still a non-cathedral tile, I believe. Yeah, let's not do that just yet. Let's not do that just yet. I believe I really lost track. I think this was the red player who drew this tile. Yeah, he wanted to deliver something exactly. So it's blue. And I think, okay, blue could still, if blue is now extremely lucky, he would be drawing this monk. And I really lost track. So I'm pulling out of the red bag actually. So let's see. And it is, no, it is the farmer. And I think the farmer is incorrect. Yeah, we could still place it. Oh, maybe it's still not lost. But then no, because if we now would, no, I think it's okay actually. No, let's do that for blue. We are not spending it. And I think let's gamble. It's back to red again. We can't deliver anymore because all those spaces, but we could still hope for the monk. So let's draw from the blue bag, which I think still has the best chance. And it is the monk. Awesome. Oh no, it's a full waste. Oh, it's a full waste actually. Oh, that was so stupid. Because, yeah, we would gain the glass. The problem is we need, no, we don't need the wood actually. No, we don't need the wood. That is fine. So we are taking a glass instead of the wood. No, that is fine. It is fine. It was not in vain, but now I think all the spaces are full, so whatever we draw will end the round. So let's draw from the red bag. I think it's the blue player's turn. It's another, oh, I think, oh, no, it's the last one was a fisherman, which we removed. So I think this is all right. So this guy is removed from the game. Again, those guys red bag, those guys blue bag. This one here, we will reveal the next one. Oh, it's a guaranteed cathedral tile. And wow, it's exactly the 3 tiles that the blue player has. Are you kidding me? That is huge actually. And then, yeah, we will also respawn new resources, and then we will continue with the red player. Okay, I think it doesn't really matter too much. We are drawing from the blue bag right now. Should we? No, we will draw from the red bag. Don't ask me why. I simply have a feeling. Okay, it is a soldier. It is okay because, again, whatever we put in here, they will never come back actually. So we will deliver 2 things. We will start with the 2 rock here, of course, the more cheaper ones. And honestly, blue has to do the same, right? So we are going to draw for the blue player from the blue bag in this case. We also want to deliver something. It's a farmer. I think it doesn't matter. Let's leave it at the blue. Doesn't really matter, does it? No, it doesn't. So we are also delivering 2 things to the hourglass. And again, I will always go for the cheap stuff actually. So that is that. 1 more to go, which could even be the red player now actually. But of course the red player has bigger fish to fry. Let's continue to draw from the blue bag actually for red player. We are going to deliver. It's a blue one. Blue goes in here. We are delivering the 2 things here. Nice. So we get 1 piece of the cathedral guaranteed, which is this one. And we get 1 more for this, and it's this, and bam! Wow, we have won the game. Are you kidding me? This is the last tile. Wow, at the start of the 3rd round. Okay, I really did improve my game. No, I think I was extremely lucky in respect to a lot of things. I believe, where does it go actually? I think it goes, no, I think it goes here. Yeah, exactly. It goes like this. And that's basically the cathedral done. Oh, this is so nice. And you immediately win the game. So yeah, that's basically how you play the Cathedral of Orléans. Again, it's a very, very entry-level game, very family friendly. I played with my daughter quite often. We played it quite often actually. The first 1 or 2 times we really went down like flies actually. But I think the sooner you get to understand which actions, how you can postpone, how you can stall, this is basically what you need to do. Somewhat understanding how the backs are constructed and hope a little bit for the luck. I think in respect to those event tiles, I was extremely lucky because 3 out of the 4 we have drawn gave us cathedral blueprint tiles. This is another one. Here it's 1 more of those. Here is 1 more of those. So there's really a whole pile of other event tiles which don't give you a blueprint tile. If all 4 of those would have been class tiles, that's not bad, of course, but then I'm relatively certain we wouldn't be where we are right now. But yeah, I really do hope you have enjoyed my little playthrough of the Cathedral of Orléans. And before I forget, huge shout out to all of my patrons and channel members out there. You guys are truly amazing. If you want to support my little channel here, you will find a link to my page on Patreon. You can join me here directly on YouTube, becoming a member. Click the thanks button below the video for a small or maybe not so small donation. Like and subscribe, leave a comment. This also greatly helps the channel. I really appreciate any form of contribution there. And yeah, with that being said, really hope to see you soon in one of my other videos. And until then, bye bye.